What's up, guys? LQ here with the LQ review. I'm here to talk about Mr. Monk's Last Case. It's a Peacock original movie, and it's a sequel of sorts to the long-running television show called Monk, about a obsessive-compulsive guy who solves mysteries. And I have seen the entire series of Monk, and I have a very hot and cold relationship with that show. I think when it's good, it's really good, and when it's bad, it's really just not good at all. Um, so there's been seasons and episodes that I've really liked, and seasons and episodes that, quite frankly, just bore me to death. So I wasn't sure what I was going to get into when I was going to go ahead and watch Mr. Monk's Last Case. What we got here was a fantastic movie that pays homage to the original series while standing on its own as a compelling narrative, a compelling mystery, and a touching tribute to a character that you may or may not have nostalgic feelings for. So the mystery is about Monk's daughter is getting married, and her fiance is a journalist, and he threatens the richest guy in the world with uncovering a story that could damage his reputation. So what's this billionaire do? Well, he has the journalist killed in a bungee jumping accident. Well, Mr. Monk, he takes the case. Of course he does, because it's his daughter who was mostly affected by it. And he starts putting the pieces together to prove that this billionaire guy was, in fact, the murderer. Now, kind of a straightforward premise. There's never really any doubt during the movie who the killer is. So, yeah, it's a murder mystery, and they don't come out and say who it is, but you kind of know who it is the whole time. So it's not the most difficult to figure out mystery. It's still a compelling mystery, though, because the narrative is strong, because it's a good story. It does kind of run as a long episode of Monk, a strong long episode of Monk, but it was compelling nonetheless. But what I really liked about this movie was I think it's just the older I get, and I'm 43 now, so, I'm not picking out tombstones or anything yet. But the older I get, the more I can relate to the idea of not being done yet, right? The more I can relate to the idea of, I still want to try new things, or I still want to find success. I still want to find purpose. And like I said, I might be still a little bit on the young end to really be able to relate with those things. But the older I get, the more I relate to those things. That I'm still figuring out who I am. And I'm 43 and I'm still figuring out who I am. I'm still growing. And I really relate to that. And I loved this movie because Monk is still growing. He's an older man, end of his career, but he's still growing, and he still wants to prove that he still has something to offer. He still has something to give. And this is a man who's literally at the end of his rope, someone who is contemplating ending it. And he discovers that he still has something to offer the world. And those types of stories, when they're done correctly, I just really resonate with. And this movie did it correctly. It felt genuine, it felt true to the character, and it felt purposeful. The series, the episode, the movie itself reaches out to the audience at the end and says, hey, if you know anybody who's struggling, call this number. Because he is a character that is very genuine and very real. Yeah, there's fantastic elements about him. He solved hundreds of murder cases. One character jokes that at one point it seemed like he was solving a murder every week. Well, yeah, there are fantastic elements about him, but he's relatable and he's genuine. Even though he's obsessive compulsive, and most of us are not obsessive compulsive, we can still relate to his fears. We can relate to his eccentricness. You know, we can relate. We understand it. He feels like a real person, and because of that, we are able to connect with him. And this movie was able to reach out to us and say, "Hey, if you know someone who is experiencing hardships like this main guy that you just watched, reach out, call this number." So, yeah, I really like this. It really resonated, and you know, it proved that no matter where you are in your life, what season of your life you're in, you still have something to offer the world. And because of that, I would definitely give this a thumbs up. I really, like I said, just really felt good about this. So, Mr. Monk's Last Case. I don't think you have to be a fan of the TV show to like it, but it would help, right? It would help. There's some obviously some cameos, some Easter eggs related to the show that fans of the show will appreciate. But if you haven't seen the show, I don't think you're going to have any issues here either, because it really is a very self-contained story. All right, guys, Mr. Monk's Last Case. Were you a fan of the show? Have you watched the movie? If you were a fan of the show or watched the movie, let me know what you thought of them in the comments below. And thank you for joining me here at the OQ Review. Make sure you subscribe, and until next time, we'll see you later.